Oh, hi. This is Federation Fox. I got a little problem with fleas. Okay, faking it, but oops, this is a blooper. Forgot the Velcro. So that puts us back into real life anyway. This is Federation Fox, as portrayed by. I get a kick out of the sometimes the folks want to keep their real life identity hidden, no good reason, just for the fun of it, and that's the point, it's for fun. Some people don't think so. Some people just never get it. However, this is a video blog to recap things that I have not been saying very much about. I've been both busy and very depressed and so forth. A lot of things have been going on. So, before we get to July 1st, now this is just at the end of the month of August. I've been celebrating the anniversary of my officially becoming a true fairy. I've known about fairies for I think it's well over 3 years now. Anyhow, been aware, but it was June 22nd of last year. I put my foot down and said I'm going to make a persona, make me a fursuit so I can have fun like I see the other guys doing, all that sort of stuff, and everything changed. So I've been. I was given some money to help me with my depression and went out and started doing things. So July 1st, I went to Vacaville to do some fursuit bowling. I love the Sacramento gang there. So I got that done, and then the 3rd, which was a Tuesday, for the Berkeley meet as usual. And this time my dear friend, Sweet Bear Cub, met me there, and we both enjoyed the meeting. Then on the 5th, Zoran from Sacramento came over to visit, and we chatted, and we went out to dinner and stuff like that. I almost forgot. I make new ears, so this is new ears. Been working on the muzzle, fixes, and so forth as I continue to learn to do better. But this is just something to experiment on and have fun with. Sort of a Dr. Frankenstein of the furry world here. Yeah, spots on a fox? Nope. Anyway, back to the 6th, after Zoran visited, my friend Excelsior 30, as I call him, because he's not related to Excelsior the lion, but Excelsior 30, or Excelsior the red panda, whatever, came to visit as well. And we chatted and so forth like that. So then, nothing much. And then the 14th came along, Saturday, and I was debating about spending the money to go there because I really need to take care of other things, but nonetheless, I was wanting to celebrate and deal with things. And so I went to Leo's potluck barbecue. I did have a small anxiety attack at one point, very irrational, no good reason, but got over it And Sweet Bear Cub was there with me. He helps to try to anchor me down a little bit, so he's very helpful. He's very helpful. So then, that also was the same day as Frolic in San Francisco. So I, at the encouragement of Sweet Bear Cub and so forth, I went to Frolic in San Francisco at the gay bar club, gay bar known as the Stead. But this is not necessarily a gay-only sort of thing. So it was really great. It was fun, and this is unusual. I thought I'd get emotional or upset or something, but it went well, and I actually felt comfortable. Very comfortable, you know, with the people there, the fairies, and sort of like that. It's still not my lifestyle, but it was a neat place. I really liked it. Big shout out to Neon Bunny for hosting Frolic and so forth. So, Sweet Bear Cub was there, and we were chatting and doing things. So, then on the 17th, a lot of this is from my personal log as to what happened. It's hard for me to remember everything. On the 17th was the news about Beast Cub's sister and her boyfriend being hit in a hit-and-run accident that killed their 4 dogs, and after a few days killed the boyfriend. And it's been weighing very heavily on my heart. And I think I actually met that guy once. So it's weighing heavily on my heart. So then moving on, dealing with that, then on the 20th, I went to get an eye exam and find out what Medi-Cal does and does not pay for, and got prescription. Then, because my other glasses, frame broken, all that, been a big pain in the butt. So, on the 21st, then, continuing the celebrations, I went to Fremont Bowling. This is July 22nd, and Sweet Bear Cub was there with me, and we had a good time, did some bowling and so forth like that. As usual, with my weird anxiety ego problem, I haven't seen myself appear in photographs or videos. And although I consciously try to be in place for photos and videos and stuff like that, I don't get photographed very often. I think it's because most people don't like the lion fursuit or something. You know, I'm not wealthy. I can't go out and buy 6-inch long fur and big mane and stuff and all that. I do what I can, scrounging and scraping and bits and pieces here and there. So, had a good time at Fremont Bowling. Finally got to meet Spartacus, which I've been trying to do since Further Confusion. And there had been a problem at the panel at the convention for me, which made it impossible to enjoy the panel. So Spartacus wanted to make up for it, but he has a very busy schedule. So we chatted and made arrangements. Fortunately, the next day, Sunday, he was available. So we went home, and the next day, Sunday the 22nd, what a day. So I'm trying to get ready, and busy, and it just took too long, and so I was late getting over to Portola Valley, way over there. And it's been great. It's been a long time since I've been for a drive over there. in that on those freeways and stuff like that, and getting out. And so I visited Spartacus and his cats, and he has one, I forgot the name of it, well, one of those wild cats, and the other two were somewhat hybrids and like that. You know, one's grandparent was a black wild cat, whatever it was. Sorry, I forgot, sorry. It's been a lot, so I've got excuses for forgetting things. So, after visiting him, I had time and say, hey, why don't I go visit my friend Sweet Bear Cub in San Francisco. So I did. I swung by, visited him. We did some things, and I think that was a trip that I stopped at the Japanese restaurant and got dinner because Sweet Bear Cub is not so hot on Japanese food. And for the first time in my life, ordered sake and tried it. And a bit of a revelation. I've always said I hated alcohol and alcoholic products. Depending. I loved it. I loved it. It tasted great. It is rice wine, so it's not that severe, but it was neat. I loved it. It was great. So then I, visiting Sweet Bear Cub, and then went on the way home. So this big long trip for that poor old little Plymouth. I got to Bay Point, not too far from here. Boom, the car just died. Nothing. Stopped. So I rolled and coasted down the off-ramp. It was an okay location to have it happen. Unfortunately, certain jerk brains at the McDonald's and Shell station there would not call AAA for me. I do not have a cell phone. I can't afford it. I'm not supposed to be spending money like crazy. I'm supposed to be saving money. So no cell phone. There were no payphones in there. They would not call for me. I'm disabled. I can't go jogging a mile to find a phone that works and da-da-da-da-da. And I don't know how that goes. They wouldn't even call the police, 911, nothing. So if they were in the process of being, somebody was on their premise being robbed, they will not call the cops. Aren't they nice? McDonald's. Sick. So avoid Bay Point, okay? There's something wrong with those people. So moving right along, I finally, after a big fuss, finally got somebody to call, people driving through to call the police, who then in turn gave my car a push off of the street and called AAA so my car could be towed home. So I got home very late, and it was late, so I put off looking into what was going on in the car. I couldn't find anything wrong at Bay Point, so I got it home. It just would not start, not a bump, not a shudder, nothing, just kept cranking. So I then started looking into what was going on with it, but my depression went, and that was about the time I started running out of my medications too. That didn't help much. So as a result of the car being dead, which I had towed to the shop to get an estimate done, but you have to pay $136 to get an estimate done, to get a diagnosis done to find out what, so that we can get an estimate, find out what's wrong. So I didn't have the money. I was making the mistake of thinking some fairies would come up and help me. Didn't happen. But it's an example. I had been given some money to get new glasses. Did I get new glasses? No, I splurged it on celebrating the anniversary of my officially becoming a fairy. Worthwhile, bad priorities. So the plan, the frolic thing was something I'd been harping about for over a year. That's why I went. Kept saying, I want to go to Frolic in San Francisco. Never could do it. Mass transit to these furry meets just doesn't work. As soon as you get there, you have to turn around and leave to get home. It's ridiculous. So unfortunately, that Thursday was going to be the final one, more or less, of going to what used to be called Crack Chicken, which was based on the restaurant name of long ago, and now it's some other restaurant name. So it's just known as the Chicken Meat. And so that also I've been harping about. Still has not made that meat. Oh well. So that would have been a piece de resistance on it. So then on the 28th was Furries on the Wild, and another one of my lovely fixations. The site for it, I agree with Neon Bunny's choices, but I mean, needs, you know, do not duplicate further Confusion Picnic, yet it's still in the Oakland area, and blah, 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 blah. The site is not wheelchair accessible. Boo hiss on City of Oakland. The place is a disaster area, so to get to the site, you have to be in pretty good health. And go up a steep hill, going through mud and dirt and steps and whatever, and eventually you get to the site. But there's no safe path for people with disabilities to go there. Last time I was there, I tore my tendon from it, which took months to heal. So finally I was not going to go back and injure myself again. And my friend couldn't go. And so I was just so bothered by trying not to. It's just one of those damn things. So I stayed home, moped around as usual. So that ended July. Then August 2nd, I finally put my foot down and asked my friend from San Francisco to come up to here so we could do fursuit bowling for the first time at Delta Bowl, which I'd made arrangements with them almost a year ago to allow us to have it, and I tried to host the fursuit furry meet, bowling meet, twice. Nobody showed up. Partly because I'm not well known, partly because the traffic on Highway 4 sucks, and so on and so on and so on. So it just couldn't happen. And my dear friend wants to try again, but I'm afraid it's just not going to happen. There's just too many reasons against it. But we'll see. You know, just something casual. But unfortunately, dealing with depression, it makes it, my motivations are gone. It took me several days just to get up and do a video. You know, I finally got myself to do the video. Out of time. That's part one. I'll bring up part two, finishing off August. Okay. This is part two of the video blog of August 27th, recapping the anniversary stuff of my officially becoming a fur. So we left off on our little adventure. Oh, by the way, there's a noise in the background. I played to preview the first part, and that's my roommate's TV. Never mind him. Don't worry about it. He's a little hard of hearing. Me, fairly deaf, he's hard of hearing. So August 2nd, I walked from here to the bowling alley with fursuit in the bag, even though you really should not do anything heavy before doing bowling so you have more stamina. But my car is out of order. So Sweet Bear Cub met me there. Or actually met me here, and then we went over and did some fursuit bowling, blah, 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 and came back home. Very tired. But still was fun. Excuse me, I lost my ad copy. There we go. Yeah, this is why I don't work at a news desk. Bare necessities. I thought that Grubs Grizzly did. That's what I was playing around. Got the fan on to keep it cool. I did lip sync Bare Necessities from Jungle Book, and I just bowled over laughing, and that was so funny. Hey, Grubs Grizzly. So we did that bowling and came back home. The video didn't turn out very well. It wasn't angled right, and so I'm not putting it up. It doesn't work very well and very boring. And it was done, bad audio, all sorts of problems with the other camera, which almost can't pick up speech very well. I don't know what's wrong with it. This camera I'm using, but it has a low frame rate, so this is okay. It's just a video log, not showing anything. So the next day, needless to say, I was zonked out. Then noted, this is taken from my personal log, and noted that by that point, I spent a lot of time sleeping in bed, which is unusual for me because I ran out of medication. I could not get it refilled. I needed to go into the doctor's office to get the refill prescription, renew the prescription, go get it, and so forth. Okay, my car's broken down. How do I do that? Because the bus stops over a mile away, and I can't walk very well. And I really did it in when I did that long walk to do bowling. And so on it goes. And I don't have any money either. And they don't take, the one thing I do have some money on, which is Fast Track, as it's called, or Clipper Card. Bart does, everybody else does, so that's why I have money on it. But not out here in the boonies. So, on the 9th of August, a surprise came in the mail from my friend Foxy Fox of Canada. And it's a box of some plushies, some lions and stuff, and I was really, really, really neat of him. And of course, as usual, I cried and cried and cried. And it helped make me feel so much better and all that sort of stuff. Thank you so much, Foxy. So, I don't have time to show the stuff I forgot about that. This is just a verbal thing. I'll do some other videos later. Then on the 12th and 13th, I finally sat down and got work done on the new ears. The old ones were simple triangles, never liked them. So I worked on new ears. Again, this is experimental suits, so it wasn't critical. They came out slightly different than planned, but that's okay. They're still nice. So, admittedly, I don't hear any better. Hello, 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 can't hear. Big ears, you'd think I'd hear better. Yeah. Okay. On the 15th, finally got the pills. So back on my antidepressants and stuff like that. On the 20th, Sweet Bear Cub comes by with his laptop for me to work on. And I'm good at fixing those sort of things, so I got to work on that, but it unfortunately turned out to be dead. So I haven't gotten around to diagnosing why is it dead. The problem looked very familiar, but I can't remember. Maybe that should be a simple fix. I don't know. Unfortunately, he missed the train home, the buses and stuff. He had stayed too long. Turns out he can't stay here past 10 o'clock. We weren't watching time very well, so he slept over. And the guy that owns the house said it was okay. And oh no, that one, the 20th. He took the last bus to catch the train. I was getting the next one confused with this one. This is the first one. So he went back and missed the BART train by one lousy minute. They won't hold him up for anybody, even if it's the last train of the day. Dumb buses. This is why it's a nightmare for people with disabilities who rely on transit to get around. Which is why I'm so scared of buses. So, lo and behold, he did not call me saying he was that he missed the train or anything like that, and just slept there in his wheelchair in Bay Point until BART started running in the morning again, and then he finally got home. When he told me about it the next day, I was so angry, so very angry, so very upset. It's ridiculous that happened to him. Admittedly, if he called, there's not much I could do. Car's dead. But something, somehow. So, he comes back on the 22nd. Unfortunately, that's the day BART elevators were down, several of them, including Bay Point. So he couldn't get off there to catch the bus to here. So he went back to Concord and caught those buses. But in the process of researching, I found it was not much of an alternative to BART. There are 3 buses that go between this side of the hills, Bay Point, to that side of the hills, Concord. And they're commuter buses, and they're very, very, very few runs. So between here and there, we're badly isolated. And so if BART has a problem, we're stuck. It'll be a little hard to get to work and so forth. So I think I better move away from Antioch and go back somewhere else in the Bay Area. Something, I don't know. It was a nightmare out here. Too far away from beaches and so forth. So, at least it's steady housing. I've had to move in the last 5 years. Then, that was the one that he stayed here too long and missed the last bus home. So he slept over. Part of the problem was the elevator was still down, so even if he caught the bus that got him to BART, he couldn't get on BART and go home. That's those guys. He uses a power chair, very, 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 very heavy. So there's no easy way to do it, and no safe way and so forth. So he slept over. And so on the 23rd, finally, I got therapy reinstated, mental health therapy, and started seeing the counselor again, therapist. And around that time, this guy pops up on Facebook and asks if I made pursuits because he thought I did. I mean, if I would take a commission from him. And I told him no, I'm not currently making. And I was told I was not allowed to make pursuits, but at that point I said, oh, screw. I'm going to do it. Regardless of what anybody says, I'm going to do it. And I'll take on a commission or something. So I started negotiating with this guy to make him some fursuit parts. A partial, a piece at a time, and so forth. And then came up to this last weekend, August 25th. I was very graciously invited to Wolfie Lyon's birthday party. Happy birthday. And it included sleepover. And again, another alcoholic first. My first taste of bourbon. Again, I liked it. So I used to say I could never become an alcoholic because I hated the taste of alcohol. Nope. I can enjoy it, and did just one small glass. That means I have to avoid hard liquors and everything like a plague because it's just as easy for me to become an alcoholic as anybody. So, but that means I can't enjoy drinks, and it's going to be and nice stuff to try down the road. So that was Saturday, and that was a sleepover. So Sunday, of course, this meant that party was a twofer because not only was nice visiting a furry friend and staying over and everything, that was the guy that tried to help me with my car, and we found out it was a timing belt problem. Weird one, because the belt's not broken, it just is not running. The belt's just not moving. It's weird, and I think it's because it's stripped clean because it's old and loose and so forth. And so the sprocket can sit there and spin, but they won't move the belt. So that Sunday was the anniversary of Excelsior, who premiered at the first Fremont Bowling event. So he's a year old still, just a cup. And that just about finishes all the celebration stuff. Anyway, I thought there was another note. So that brings us up to date. Almost out of time. Yeah. So, car's out of order. Doing some fursuit, little bits of fursuit work. Getting ready to take a commission. My room, the landlord, the guy that owns the house, changed his mind, said it was okay for me to make fursuits. So that's good news there too. So, but I'm not going to be taking a lot of commissions. It's one at a time job. Two, if I'm working on one of my own, or there's always improvements, but starting another one, the bear, or working on my friend, San Francisco friend's bear suit, where we'll be collaborating on that. So hopefully, cross your paws, that'll go well. But it's slow. It'll take time. In the meantime, Federation Fox, and I'm tired, and I'm just want to relax. Yeah. And that's that. Nighty night. I don't know. You know, dogs dreaming. Ah, woof, woof, woof. Fox. Okay. Good night. And may all your dreams be furry ones.